KILR Killer Game.
Hello gamers, simmers, and pilots. I am the Killer Gamer and welcome to my tour around the world featuring Microsoft Flight Simulator 2000. So, where are we? We are at Champaign, the University of Illinois-Willard. And if you have watched the older versions...
Challenger 662, uniform.
We're going to turn that off.
Challenger 6.
So if you've watched the older flight simulators videos that I've been doing, you'll know that in the original Chicago map for the simulator, it went down as far south as Champaign. That was it. You had to get a scenery disc in order to keep going. Well, since we are following that same path as the old simulators, what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to pull up that map right here. This is from scenery disc number 9. If you are playing like Flight Simulator 3 or 4 for Microsoft, or if you're playing Flight Simulator 2 for the Commodore 64. Anyway, this is where we're at right here, and we're going to go over here to Greater Peoria. Let's see. Also, too, I want to try to throw a little bit of realism in here as far as like taking breaks. Like if I got to the airport, how long would I stay there? So I've advanced the time somewhere between 3 and 4 hours. Let's just say I, took a nap or something like that. In this world, I don't need to sleep very much. But the actual reason for me wanting to adjust the time is so that way the times along all the other simulators are relatively close. So that way, when we're flying in one area, it's not daytime in one simulator and nighttime in another. So they're not going to be exact as far as time, but I'd like to get them somewhere within the range, just to kind of keep it all consistent. Okay. I think now we'll go ahead and get ready here. Let's turn our avionics off. Let's get our mixture in, and let's go ahead and get this started. If you're wondering, I learned about turning off the avionics before you start the plane on my X-Plane series with a there's a pack called the Reality Expansion Pack, which takes like, you have to buy it for each individual plane, which I can understand because there's a lot of work that goes into taking like the default Cessna and X-Plane and then adding all these little realism things to it. So you have to go through like a checklist. You got to walk around the airplane, and you've got to start things up a certain way, otherwise you'll like damage it. So that's how I learned about turning off, or making sure the avionics are switched off before you turn on the plane. So although we have some fun with these old simulators, I try to put in a little bit of seriousness in there too, but I'm not trying to be a stickler or anything either. These are just for fun. All right, so let's go ahead and tune in and contact clearance.
Clearance, Mooney, 1-3, Foxtrot. On the ramp, IFR with information, Delta. Roger, Mooney, 1-3, Foxtrot. Cleared as filed. Fly runway heading, maintain 4,000, squawk 4524, departure, frequency 118.3.
4, 5,
Clearance. United Niner
2,
1-3.
4.
United Niner 1-3, clearance.
Roger. Fly runway heading maintain 4,000. Squawk 4524.
Okay.
Mooney 1-3, Foxtrot. Read back correct. Contact ground on 121.8.
121.8.
Ground. Mooney 1-3. Foxtrot. On the ramp. IFR with information Delta. Ready to taxi.
Mooney 1-3, Foxtrot. Taxi to runway 36.
Okay.
Roger. Taxi 236. Mooney 1-3. Foxtrot.
And that's the one that we had landed at, too.
Ground control, Lufthansa 294, request altimeter setting.
Lufthansa 294, altimeter is 299.
I like how they got the German pilot with Lufthansa.
991, Lufthansa 294.
Alright, so we need to... Where is runway 30? Okay, there's 36. I'm looking at our GPS to try to get an idea of... where our runways are at. Whoops, hold on. We got something over here. This is like a very bumpy... Okay, hold on. Okay, wait, I see the taxiway going over there. I was going to check the map to make sure that there was an actual taxiway that would take us down the end of the runway. It's like I can get this thing to start up a little bit.
Ground control. Cathay 729er. Request altimeter setting.
Cathay 729er, altimeter is 29991.
There we go.
Roger. 299er 1. Cathay 729er.
Cross into the grass here. Not a big deal, right? This is not the right runway.
Ground, come here. 759er, at the terminal with information, Delta.
I thought he said ground, come here.
759er, taxi to runway and hold. Roger, come here. 759er.
Doesn't sound like he's saying come here. Now I gotta wonder where is... Let's take a look at our map. This is the runway that we want right here. All right, we're gonna turn back the other way, and then go this way. That's what we'll do. Is that? Hold on, is that a taxiway there in front of us? Okay, nope, that's not the one that I was thinking. All right.
Ground, Speedbird 942 at the terminal with information Delta. Speedbird 942, taxi to runway and hold. Roger, Speedbird, 942.
Come on.
Ground, United 300 at the terminal with information. Delta. United 300, taxi to runway and hold. Roger, United 300.
Why do I have the feeling that we're going the wrong... Okay, no. I've watched some flight sim videos, some newer ones where they have, oh man, what is that thing? Not the Garmin, it's like that digital GPS, whatever it is. I think it's got like 1,000, number 1,000 in there somewhere. And this thing gives you like an image of what the airport looks like and all the taxiways and...
Falcon 661 Bravo, taxi to terminal.
That thing is
Roger,
cool.
Falcon 661 Bravo.
And we're going to be flying, we're going to be using different aircraft as we go. I was thinking, because I want to give a fair chance on some of these aircraft, and we've got a lot of airports that we'll be going to. So what do you think about maybe changing the aircraft every 20 flights? You're like, 20 flights? That's 20 videos, dude. Yes, it is.
Ground, Lufthansa 519 at the terminal with information Delta.
Lufthansa 519, taxi to runway and hold.
Roger, Lufthansa 519.
And we would be changing aircraft across all the simulators at the same time. So when we get to leg 21 of the tour, we'll change the aircraft. It may not be the same aircraft. Like here, I'm using a Beech Baron instead of a Cessna, but we'll change the aircraft. Now, I know you might be thinking, well, why don't you keep it consistent? Why don't you keep a Cessna the whole way through? Well, because in some cases I may want to use payware aircraft, and in other cases, I may just use the default or downloadable. There's just a lot to choose, and I like to try to mix it up a little bit. I mean, I want to fly the same, the same legs with all the simulators. It makes it easier to keep track of, but it also allows me to see what things look like, over the years for those specific areas that we're flying.
Ground control, Katana, 960 Whiskey, at the terminal with information.
But with that in mind, it gets kind of boring if you're flying the same plane.
960 Whiskey, taxi to runway and hold.
Roger, Katana, 960 Whiskey.
Katana. I hear that and I think of Mortal Kombat. Katana wins. Fatality.
Mooney, 13 Foxtrot. Contact tower on 120.4.
120.4. Alright.
Roger, 120.4, Mooney, 13 Foxtrot. Good day.
That must mean we're right next to the runway.
Tower, Mooney, 13 Foxtrot. On the ramp, IFR with information Delta. Ready to taxi.
Mooney, 13 Foxtrot. Taxi to runway 36.
Okay.
Roger, taxi 236, Mooney, 13 Foxtrot.
I hit the wrong key. I said rated a taxi, but it's okay. That should be runway 36 over there. Let's make sure. Yeah, that's it. I see this keep going, so I wanted to make sure we were going on the right one.
UPS 5-1, clear to land.
Roger, clear to land. UPS 5-1.
Checking out my commands. Oh, no, that's not it. Okay. And we got to add some more power so we can actually, like, move. Probably about the only thing that I won't do on these short trips is try using a jet. Because some of these airports are not very far from each other. And so it's like I'd be lifting off and then just immediately landing by the time I get there. But we will be making some, we'll call them side quests, for lack of a better term. Well, we'll fly out to an airport that's far out, man.
Tower, TWA.
And then we'll come back and continue with the tour.
TWA 508, winds steady 360 at 0.
So let's say
Roger,
that
TWA 508.
somewhere down the line, you know, let's say we're in Ohio, because we are actually going to be, that's the direction we are going to be headed to within these next several episodes. Let's say we make it to Ohio,
Northwest,
and you're watching the series, and you're like, you know what, I wish you would have stopped in my hometown of da-da-da-da-da and the airport that is there. Well, we'll do that. We'll pick a jet and fly out there. We'll fly out there and land out there. If there is scenery that I can download, or if there's payware, I'll definitely check that out, and we can look at it on the video and review it. And if you follow my X-Plane series, we will do a documentary about where we land. So we'll check out the airport. We'll check out the the town, city, and see what's there. And heck, you can even say, oh, let's try not to go off the runway here. Oh my goodness. You could say, oh, hey, man, Killer Gamer, you got to fly out here to my hometown and check out, you know, this restaurant or this or that or whatnot. And I probably should have contacted Tower before we went onto the runway.
Tower, Mooney, 1-3, Foxtrot, runway 36, ready for takeoff.
And we'll do that.
Mooney 1-3, Foxtrot, runway 36, hold your position.
Okay. I'm going to hold right here on the runway. So yeah, just let me know. If the place you want us to check out is really far away, we can look into taking an airliner. We'll do it from a major airport. So once we get to a major airport, we're like, hey, such and such wants us to go visit him, her, at, you know, such and such. So we're going to take ourselves an airliner. We'll see if we can pick something appropriate, whether it's Delta, American, Continental. Is Continental still around? I don't know, United.
1-3, Foxtrot, runway 36, cleared for takeoff, while runway heading.
Lufthansa, you know.
Roger, cleared for takeoff. Mooney, 1-3, Foxtrot.
So this world tour
TWA 354 at 4,
can have,
squawking,
you know, your input also.
With information, Delta.
I
TWA 354, report 4 miles north of the airport.
Roger, report.
I still have
north
my
of the
flight plan,
airport.
which I'll be doing.
TWA 354.
But you know, I want to get some interaction with you, the viewers, also. So don't feel like, man, I hope he visits here, or, you know, whatever. Hey, there we go. Turn on autopilot. Landing gear up.
Tower, yeah, 494 at 4,000.
Mooney, 1-3 Foxtrot. Contact departure on 118.3.
118.3. Whoops.
Roger. 118.3. Mooney. 1-3 Foxtrot. Good day. Departure. Mooney. 1-3 Foxtrot. Out of 1,000. 4,000 IFR.
Roger, Mooney, 1-3 Foxtrot. Radar contact.
So I'm going to go ahead and set my heading back here. I know where I'm supposed to go.
Mooney, 1-3 Foxtrot. Turn left heading 255. Departure, northwest, 9. Mooney, 1-3 Foxtrot. Turn left heading 300 to join Victor 434.
300. All right.
Roger. Left 2300. Mooney. 1-3 Foxtrot.
Okay, I'm going to tune in the Peoria.
Delta, level at 7,000. Mooney 2-1 Delta. Roger.
There we go. Let's see. No DME just yet. Let's tune in Bloomington also. 108.2. Okay, we got 36 miles until... We're not flying to Bloomington, but it's along the way. Okay, I'm going to adjust my heading here a little bit. There we go. Oh, did this just change? No. Okay, it looks like it's about to change. I was adjusting... Oh, I must have hit N instead of B. I'm adjusting my altimeter and, you know, because of the whole lag thing.
Departure, King Air 529er Romeo request. King Air 529er Romeo, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Departure, King Air 529er Romeo, request a handoff to center. King Air 529er Romeo, stand by, we'll check. King Air 529er Romeo, contact center, frequency 134.25.
Some of the voices in ProFlight 98, this is ProFlight 2000.
King Air 529er Romeo, good day.
It's kind of funny because the way they say, "will check." This guy was just kind of like a "will check." But some of the other ones was like, "will check." It's not what you say, it's how you say it. All right. How far do we have to go? Well, we got about 8 miles to our top of climb. And I'm going to check my flight simulator book and make sure. Oh, hi, Talia. I didn't see you back here. She's our cat. She's a black kitty, all black. And she's an old one, too. Very spry still. She's 17. she had a sister, and she passed away a few years ago. And she had kidney and liver failure. It was really, really sad. We loved her dearly. That's Iowa. We went Illinois. I hate getting old. 115.20. Yep. Well, we got the right
Departure
frequency.
TWA 766, level at 6,000.
TWA 766, roger.
All right. What is this thing here, I wonder? I guess maybe that's a river? It's odd looking. It's hard to tell since it's dark. Just looks like some thing up in the middle. You might be wondering about the graphics, where it looks kind of bandy here. You know, it doesn't really smooth very well. And that has to do with me running this in VMware on Windows 98. It does look a little better, not much better, but it does look a little better if I run it in
Mooney 13 Foxtrot, turn right heading 300 to join Victor 434.
well, I kind of am, but yeah, this is getting us on course. That's fine. Yeah, so on Windows 7 it does look better, but it's not by much. It still has not a great look to it. I mean, Flight Simulator 98 I thought looked pretty good, and Flight Simulator 2000 just, you'd expect it to look better, and it doesn't really. At least I don't think it does. Now, the change with 2002. 2002 definitely looks better. And then, well, we know about 2004. That was amazing. And then FSX just, built upon that. Now, the reason why I'm playing this in VMware on Windows 98 is because I couldn't get ProFlight 2000 to install. It wouldn't even work. The installer wouldn't even work. It just said looking for files. It couldn't. And that's what it did. It just couldn't find anything. So I had to use Windows 98 in order to install it properly. And also FSClouds, which I'm also using,
Northwest 499er, climb and maintain 10,000.
doesn't install
010.
properly unless you do it in
Roger, out of
Windows 98.
410,000. Understand, 010, Northwest 499er.
I can't remember if I tried this in Windows XP or not. I don't think it's going to make a difference because the SVGA driver is the same. Now, one thing that I have not tried is using the PC emulator. I didn't even know about this emulator, and I feel kind of dumb because I love emulation and stuff like that. But I didn't find out about this thing until
Cherokee 245 Sierra, radar service terminated. Squad
like
1200.
last
Change
week.
to advisory frequency
So if you haven't heard about it, it's called PCM.
Roger,
EM.
Cherokee
So
245
PC and then
Sierra,
lowercase
good
EM for emulator. And this thing is amazing. It instead of VMware, where it's a virtual environment, the PC emulator is an actual emulator of hardware, specific hardware for certain machines.
Departure, ATA 643, level at 10,000.
If we can pull that up.
13 Foxtrot, contact Chicago Center on 134.25.
Okay, 134.25.
Roger, 134.25. Mooney, 13 Foxtrot. Good day.
134.25. There we go.
Mooney 13 Foxtrot, maintain 10,000.
Chicago Center, Mooney 1-3 Foxtrot is with you at 4,000 IFR.
Roger, Mooney 1-3 Foxtrot. Northwest 342, traffic at 12 o'clock, 3 miles west, altitude unknown.
We are going awfully
3-4,
fast.
negative contact.
Our speed's in the red here, so let's slow it down. Okay, we're 50 miles from the airport. Looks like this is finally good. All right, so yeah, let me go ahead and I'll pull up PC emulator. So this allows you to emulate actual PC hardware, you know, using ROMs and stuff like that. And you need to have a good computer in order to actually emulate this thing properly, just like any of those emulators. And I don't know if this game would look better running it, or if it would run like crap, you know, frame rates and stuff. Let's see here. I don't want display capture. Window capture. Okay. Hang on, I'm just adjusting window sizes and
Fairchild 726 Alpha, traffic at 2 o'clock, 6 miles southwest, altitude 16,000.
let me see if I've got it here. Alright, so here it is, PCEM. This is at pcem.emulator.co.uk, because the UK is cool.
Chicago Center, Cherokee 27 Victor is with you, level at 17,000.
Here you can see April 20th they added new machines to the emulator. Compact Portable Plus, Compact Portable 2,
Roger,
and it goes on here, Packard Bell.
Victor.
New graphic cards were added. You got ATI Korean, VGA, Cirrus Logic, Trident. New network adapters added, the Realtek, iOmega zip drive emulation. So, you know, it works just like you would expect a emulator to work. CD-ROM emulation on OS X. That's... Oh, I guess they're saying if you're running this on a Mac. I'm like, what is that? Why would you wouldn't be putting OS X on a old emulator? But yeah, so here's all the updates. What else here? Status? Ah, here we go. Yeah. So here's all the systems and motherboards that are emulated. So you see all this? You got like the Tandy 1000, Sinclair PC 200, the IBM AT PC Junior, 5150 PC. And if DOSBox doesn't work for the old emulators, Microsoft Flight Simulator 1, we're not going to be able to do a world tour with, so I'm not sure what I would do with it. Flight Simulator 2, 3, and 4. 2 we can fly in default areas. I don't think the scenery discs work with it. I think they didn't work until like 3 and 4. And I say a lot. Trying not to. With
Chicago Center, airframe 298 is with you, level at flight level 210.
So if it doesn't work well in DOSBox, then I can try running it on one of these emulated motherboards, because I've read that these work just like the actual machine. So instead of actually buying, you know, all the rare parts and stuff to build a, you know, Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows 3.1 machine, you can emulate it with the actual, you know, what the actual hardware would be. And so with that in mind, I might be able to run Flight Simulator 2000 off of one of these emulated motherboards that was like meant for Pentium and one of the graphics cards, and I might be able to get it to look better. I don't know if the frame rate is going to be better.
Chicago Center, Falcon 4,
we can try it out
is with you, level at
and see
15,000.
if it's playable.
Mooney 13 Foxtrot. Maintain 300. Vectors for the ILS. Runway 4. Approach.
Runway 4. Okay.
Mooney 13 Foxtrot. Contact approach on 119.95.
119.5.
Roger, 119.95. Mooney 13 Foxtrot. Good day.
Okay, 119.95. I'm changing the radio underneath the website.
Approach Mooney 13 Foxtrot is with you at 4,000 IFR.
Roger, Mooney 13 Foxtrot. Mooney 13 Foxtrot. Maintain 300. Vectors for the ILS. Runway 4. Approach.
Okay. So back to the simulator again. So here's the graphics cards that are emulated. You got the 3DFX Voodoo Graphics, ATI Graphics Pro, VGA. You got regular CGA, IBM EGA, VGA. You got the S3 Verge, which I think is one of the main ones that's used in DOSBox. I think that's the one that I'm using. You got Trident, Phoenix S3, Diamond Stealth, and then towards the bottom here is your. Let's see if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. The sound cards that are emulated. You got your Ad-Lib, Game Blaster, Sound Blaster, different versions, all 32. So, is anything under development? Okay. And here are some screenshots.
Approach northwest 444 at 6,000. Squawking 5.
Lemmings! I know that one. That one I played on the Amiga.
444. Descend and maintain 3,000.
So here's one that's running
Roger,
Windows
down
XP.
3,000 northwest 444.
So yeah, it's a very cool thing, and it's something I definitely want to check out and see if I can get it to run decently. Now the machine that I'm on is an i5, and this is just a backup to my main machine because mine just didn't want to start up. So I think it's a problem with the motherboard or the processor because I've pretty much removed everything from it, and it turns on and then it shuts off. Turns off, turns on, shuts off. The first thing that you're probably thinking of is, oh, it's your power supply. Now I replaced that also. So there's something wrong. And I'm looking at actually building a whole new i7 computer. One that is powerful enough and strong enough. What I had was pretty decent. It was like top of the line i7. I forget it was a 6th generation chip? I think the 7th generation is out now. But I had like the fastest one was a 470K or something like that. But there goes my Elm again.
Scandinavian 674 at 6.
I want to be able to build something, get like a 1080 Ti graphics card in there, and have it to where it is up to the level of being able to fly Flight Simulator in virtual reality, because that would just make a dream come true for me. I've always wanted to fly, and to be able to do it in virtual reality where I can look around and actually feel like I'm inside the cockpit.
Approach American 6.
Wow.
0. Level at 7,000.
American 610. Roger.
Now, if there's a way that I can do the game recording while I'm playing in VR, oh, that would be awesome. I know there have been people that have been recording their some videos using the VR, so. But I have to get to that point first, and this is going to be an expensive PC to set up, because I'm going to make sure that I've got the hard drives with the space to put the scenery on there. And then the VR gear, that's almost like $500-600 right there. So it's going to take a little bit. And I've also thought about replacing the motherboard or processor of what I already have. But again, I don't know if it's the processor or if it's the motherboard. I could get lucky, buy one, and I'm good. Or I could realize, nope, that didn't work. I have to replace the other thing too. And then I could have just bought a new motherboard and processor for the same price. So.
Squawking 6075.
Northwest 570. Descend and maintain 3000.
Okay. Runway 4 ILS is 110.55.
3000. Northwest 570.
I'm going to change this to the Peoria, so that way we got our DME working. And then we'll change this to 110.55.
Approach United 23 at 6000. Squawking 2662.
United 23. Descend and maintain 4000. Turn left, heading 120.
Roger. Mooney 13 Foxtrot.
I just said that, I don't know if I acknowledged the first time, and sometimes they won't go to the next step unless you acknowledge them. And we're getting closer to the airport. And we're coming in. We're coming in pretty fast, so let's slow it down a little bit.
Delta 11. Mooney 13 Foxtrot. Turn left, heading 220.
220. All right.
Roger. Left 2220. Mooney 13 Foxtrot.
Okay, so here's the runway, I think.
Approach American 741.
Right over
Level
here.
at 9000. American 741. Roger.
That's good. We'll be able to tune into a nav. I'm hoping that I can get the autopilot to work correctly to get us nice and lined up with it.
Approach U.S. Air 253 at 7000. Squawking 3243. U.S. Air 253. Descend and maintain 3000. Turn right, heading 010. Roger. Down to 3000. Turn 010. U.S. Air 253.
U.S. Air. We got an airport over here. Not the one we want to go to, but our airport's being covered by our chair. See, these graphics look like VGA graphics. They don't look like Super VGA. I don't know why it looks like that. I mean, it's a SVGA graphics driver for VMware.
Approach FedExpress.
Other things look fine. How come this doesn't look fine? I don't know.
1541. FedEx 463. Descend and maintain 5000. Roger. Down to 5000. FedExpress 463.
Okay. I think at the moment we're at an okay speed. It was pretty fast before. Alright, let's read some fun facts from Why Do Cowboys Wear High Heels? It's funny, my wife got this for me like years and years ago, and I've never really read it until now. So, this Flight Simulator series is good for so many reasons. If there's black mail, why isn't there white mail? It sounds racist. There used to be. In 16th century England, the word mail meant rent, tax, or tribute. If you were wealthy, you typically paid your debt in silver. This was known as white mail, from the color of the silver. If you weren't as well-to-do, you usually paid in some other form, from grain to meat. Since these came from the dark earth, they were known as blackmail. Because everyone knew exactly what an ounce of silver was worth, white mail had a set value. Black mail, however, did not. Thus, if the person receiving the blackmail didn't approve of the amount, they were able to demand more. It was this extortion that gives us the current meaning of that word.
American 297, level at 7,000.
Interesting, huh?
297, roger.
Let's do one more. Why do mosquito bites itch? Itching from mosquito bites is caused by an allergic reaction to the fluid the insects inject when they bite you. Once your skin reacts to the bite, you scratch it. But why doesn't that work for very long? The reason scratching stops an itch is because you're hurting yourself. Any itch is an irritation of the nerve endings close to the surface of the skin. Scratching, therefore, causes a minor pain which overrides the itching. If scratching has removed an external cause of the itch, say dust or a loose thread, it won't return. If the cause is internal, like a mosquito bite, it will return until the irritant is absorbed by the body. When you swat that mosquito, you're killing a mother. Only females bite, and they do it to get blood to nourish their young. Male mosquitoes only consume plant nectar and water, and don't count on your dog to take a bite for you. Different species of mosquitoes feed on different types of animals.
Roger, down to 3,000, TWA 254.
And the more you know, the further you go. Do 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 do. Well, what do we got here? We got a river. That definitely seems like the river that's on the Flight Simulator 2 map.
United 6-3, roger.
Right here, this river. I think that's what that one is.
Approach Lufthansa 150, level at 7,000.
Lufthansa 150, roger. Looney 13 Foxtrot, turn right heading 310.
I was wondering. 310. Alright.
Roger, right 2310, Mooney 13 Foxtrot.
They are vectoring us around. What's the matter, baby girl? Yeah? Come here. You want to say hi? Come here. Oh, I got you. I got you. Say hi. This is Talia. She's our black beauty. Say hi. Say hi. She's like, put me down now. Whoa, 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 careful, careful. Careful, girl. Here. Jump over there on the ship.
UPS 164, level at
There you go.
9,000.
UPS
got it?
164, roger.
Come on, girl. Alright, bring it a little closer to you. How about that? Are you just going to sit on my leg? Sweetie. You don't usually do that. Okay, alright. Maybe you're stuck. Are you stuck?
Mooney, 1-3 Foxtrot. Turn right heading 340.
Oh, I think you're stuck.
461, level at 6,000.
There you go. That's why.
Amtran 461, roger.
Alright, what did he say?
Mooney, 1-3 Foxtrot. Say again.
Mooney, 1-3 Foxtrot. Turn right heading 035.
035, okay.
Roger. Right 2-0-3-5. Mooney, 1-3 Foxtrot.
This doesn't seem like a vector that would allow us to... Does it? It sure doesn't look like it to me. Let's adjust our heading a little bit. Because 035, if you look at this, is not really allowing us to intersect with that ILS. Let's see.
Lufthansa 272 at 8,000.
Okay.
Squawking 3402.
ILS is turned in.
Lufthansa
Or tuned
272.
in.
Descend and maintain 5,000.
Roger. Down to 5,000. Lufthansa 272.
Okay, I need to tune that to 4. Okay. We're still not.
Approach northwest 82.
There's the airport, right up there.
Squawking 4264.
Northwest 826. Descend and maintain 5,000. Turn left heading 190.
Roger. Down to 5,000. Turn 190 northwest 826.
Let's get slowed down some more.
Approach Air Labrador 955 at 6,000. Squawking 5235.
Air Labrador 955. Turn left heading 220.
Roger. Turn 220. Air Labrador 955. Approach Galaxy 246 Juliet at 7,000. Squawking 5407.
Galaxy 246 Juliet. Descend and maintain 5,000.
Roger. Down to 5,000. Galaxy 246 Juliet.
Approach
Turning
American
into it here.
730, level at 8,000.
American 730. Roger.
We turn the altitude thing off here. Alright, let's tune in the Nav radio? How does that work? Let's see. Okay. It looks like it's getting us lined up. I don't know if there's a glide slope, but
Approach northwest 314 at 7,000, squawking 6510. Northwest 314, turn right, heading 310. Roger, turn 310, northwest 314.
like we're coming in, but he's not having us change or anything to another frequency. Should we change the tower ourselves? Tower is
Approach TWA 655
119.10.
Tower, Mooney, 13 Foxtrot, 5 miles to the south at 2,000 IFR, landing.
We're at a good.
13 Foxtrot, wind 360 at 0. Altimeter is 2991, clear to land, runway 4.
Roger, clear to land. Mooney, 13 Foxtrot.
Well, I can still see the red over white. I'm trying to keep our... I'm using the elevator trim to get our
Tower, Gulfstream 345, Bravo,
descent
wind check.
in good.
Gulfstream 345, Bravo, wind steady 360 at 0.
Roger, Gulfstream 345, Bravo.
Keeping an eye on my speed. Make sure my speed is okay. Nope, too low. Red over red, you're dead. That's something that one of the flight sim manuals was teaching in regards to the... I think they're VASI, aren't they? VASI?
Roger, cleared to land. Gulfstream 595 Yankee.
Okay, I think we can turn this off here. Nice and easy. There we go.
Tower, Northwest 338 at 5,000, squawking 7033.
Northwest 338, enter, left downwind, wind steady 360
Okay.
at 0.
That's another runway.
991.
Roger, left, downwind, Northwest 338.
Mooning 13 Foxtrot, contact ground on 121.6, one clear of the active.
That turned out well. I thought that was a good landing.
Tower, United 381, ready for takeoff. Request north departure. United 381, cleared for takeoff. North departure approved. Roger, cleared for takeoff. United 381.
How are we doing on our fuel? Fuel pressure left. Yeah, we got plenty of fuel. We're doing fine. We'll go ahead and taxi off to those buildings there. And I guess we'll switch to ground on our own since they're not talking to us. Ground is
Tower, northwest 106 at 3000. Squawk.
Ground, Mooney 13 Foxtrot. Clear of the active runway.
Mooney 13 Foxtrot, taxi to terminal.
You're almost a pro. I've not seen that one before. You had 0 airway, 01 altitude, 0 speed.
Ground control, Air Canada 767. Request altimeter setting.
I don't know about me being a
Air
pro.
Canada 767, altimeter is 29er.
Maybe a pro for ProFlight emulator.
Roger.
Oh, sorry, this is not emulator. This is ProFlight 2000.
767.
I used ProFlight 98 a lot with when I was playing Flight Simulator 98. Man, FS98 was my jam back in the day.
Ground, Qantas 105 is clear of the runway.
But ProFlight emulator, I use that quite a bit on Flight Simulator 2004.
Qantas.
And I'm using it for
105,
this
taxi to
series.
terminal.
Roger, Qantas 105.
And it emulates ProFlight 2000 so that way it can be used on FS9, FSX, and also X-Plane with a plugin. And P3D, which I do believe that we will be doing a series on. And there'll be more about that later on. Bring our flaps up. Let's tune in and close our flight plan. We don't really have to do this, but...
Radio, Mooney 13 Foxtrot is on the ground. Would you close my IFR flight plan at this time?
Mooney 13 Foxtrot. Roger, we'll close out your flight plan at 36.
It's 37. Alright, that's good. Let's shut off our lights here. Turn off our avionics. I've tried using the mixture, and that doesn't seem to work as far as turning it off, so we'll just use the key.
Flight service, Challenger 70 Zulu on 122.2.
Okay. There. Even though we have it turned off, it's still running. But all right, so here we are. We're at Greater Peoria International, and that was actually a pretty smooth flight, I think, overall. So thanks for joining me, and be sure to check out this flight and the other simulators, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, be safe in the skies. We've got a long way to go in this world tour, so remember to subscribe to be notified of future flight simulator content. I've also done this same flight on other simulators, such as the ones you see on your screen, but you'll find more in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around amongst the clouds.